Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got.
Hey, everybody. We are back. We definitely missed y'all as always when we are not here. Yes, we also know that this is a Saturday and not a Friday. So we are jumping in to tune in to have a little conversation the fellas wanted to have, pre-voting discussions. So here we are. We
Well,
hope all is well and safe. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not.
yeah, I'm gonna say this. I don't think we wanted to have this episode, but I feel like we both saw a need to have this particular episode
Yeah,
with all of the stuff that's going on. So even though we are tired and we had hectic weeks, we decided to push through to share some of our experiences and just opinions. And plus, we just miss y'all.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Like it wasn't not about the want, it's the need because it's a lot of misinformation, a lot. For me, what I'm seeing, y'all know I like to people watch. I'm seeing a lot of people are voting out of emotions, voting with
Mm.
emotions, and fear is the main emotion, and that's on both sides. I'm not just talking about uh the Republican, the Democrat. I'm talking about both sides. Everybody's voting on fear and not really paying attention to what's going on, like the behind the scenes, behind the emotional part of it. So yeah, this is a conversation that needs to be had like on a national level. But we got to start with our part, with our atmosphere.
Yeah, facts, man. I agree, man. So, let me ask you this question real quick. So you mentioned voting out of emotion, right? So
Hmm.
on the other side of that, like, what would a person generally, why, what would be their reason for choosing a particular candidate other than just because they have always voted this particular color? If you know what I mean. What you think?
Well, me personally, you get. I always say, no, you got to read the fine print. Like you got to know what that person stands for, what that person, and it's just not that person. And that's the thing that kind of bothers me a lot right now is because I'm like, all y'all went through the same school. Well, maybe I should say that all y'all went through the same school system, same social studies class, and we got the same class on how the government run.
Hmm.
It's three departments. Don't get me the line about the names on. There's three parts of it. The president and Congress are two separate parts.
Mhm.
So I'm like, how are y'all sitting here putting your faith in one person, the president, when all he does is say yay or nay to what Congress come up, what the folks come up with when they make the law. And I'm just like, y'all don't understand that. So all this, oh, she's gonna do this and he gonna do that. It's neither one of them. They just a face. But so that's why when I say read the fine print, you have to understand. Like, okay, if say I'm gonna use Donald Trump for example, if he gets in office, what is the people behind him gonna put forth?
Yeah.
What is the people that's backing him? What are they shooting for? What are they trying to get? Not what he's trying to get. Because again, at the end of the day, hey, we saw it with President Obama and all the presidents prior to him. He can say, "Hey, I want to do this," and Congress is like, "Nah, bro, sit down," and vice versa.
I agree, man. And so the reason why I asked that question is because I feel like it's important in that space, man. When choosing a candidate, don't just choose them because they're Republican or Democrat, even though you've always been one, but vote your convictions, man. Do your homework and do your research. But not only that,
Yep.
just because they talk a good game, man, follow through. Look at their track record. Look, there's so much information, and look at their what they have been passionate about over the years, and that's how you make your selection. But even nowadays, man, I feel like it's more important, man, to vote for those statewide offices, senator, governor, and
Yeah,
even
and
like so.
that's the
And the
part that's
only
more important than the presidency.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought that up because a lot of people like there's a race on the ballot where people wherever it says sheriff, right? Well, it's sad to say that a lot of people that look like us feel like they're not voting for the police, period. But if something happens in your neighborhood, who do you have access to? The sheriff or the president? Who can you write a letter to? Who can you go
Exactly.
visit? But people are
Exactly.
missing the point, man, and it's heartbreaking. And I can tell you from experience, because I've been working the polls, POLLS, not POLES, these past couple of weeks, man. And it's just, it's heartbreaking in a lot of, especially in our community, because that's how we see it. But what you think, T? You got anything you want to add or talk about?
Um, as you were talking about, how people voting, it's kind of like a repeat of when Barack was running. Everybody was like, "Oh, black option for a black president. We voting for the black man."
Mm.
And it's like the same thing with Kamala. It was like, "Oh, she black. That's who we voting for."
But not only is she black, she's a woman.
That as well. So that's when you get a lot of the women saying, "Oh, we
Yeah.
vote. That's who we voting for." So we could have a woman in office.
Okay, but outside of that, right? Outside of her being black, outside of her being a woman, have y'all paid attention to any of the policies that she intends to enforce?
Yeah.
Like me specific, yeah, yeah. I have I've paid close attention to what she's been talking about, man. And of course, people always talk a good game, but even with her talking a good game, if she even implements half of the things that she's been talking about, then I give her kudos. You know,
But again, it goes back to what I said earlier. She can put forth all this shit if she want to.
right?
And if the oh my god, the Congress and Senate say no, it's a mute point unless she comes in and does an executive order. And even with an executive order, they can still trump an executive order. So it's just like this. It's just like me hearing folks talking about, oh, our borders have been are not secure and everything. Your borders have never been secure. The borders have never been since the birth of the United States of America. The borders have never been fucking secure. Period. And it's for a reason. It's not. It's not. It's not. Oh, the one candidate is weaker than the other. No, 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 no. The border issue has has gotten weaponized. The the fear of criminals and shit coming over here has gotten weaponized because if you really break it down, the number of people that come over here versus the number of people that are arrested for criminal crimes for criminal activity, it's like point something. But I done struck a nerve. I done came up with catchphrases. I done made it a thing now that you can put it on your hat and your shirt.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah,
that's all you want to talk about. That
yeah.
yeah. Hell, think about if you grew up. Well, I don't know if y'all got the information. Growing up in South Florida in the '80s, we had a Cuban and a Haitian crisis, refugees crisis. They were coming over here by the literal boatloads.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, they ain't say shit about it then.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It was on the news. Oh, we found a boat full of such and such, this amount of Haitians, blah, 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 this amount of Cubans, blah. That's it. They ain't say shit about it then.
Yeah.
And like, keep it a buck. Like, the Mexicans have been doing this the same way for centuries. Now it's an issue? Nah, bro. Nah. It's just, that's why I say everybody's voting on emotions.
And even with that being said, man, this is the part that really frustrates me. All of the misinformation that's out there. You know, somebody say something on Facebook. Huh?
I said, you talking now.
Man, somebody say something on Facebook and people will take it and run with it. And man, that's all I've been hearing about. Just because, I mean, anybody can make a video, you know, and say anything, but do your research, man. You know, go see if this information is accurate. You know, CNN, like all of these news websites, but people hear something that somebody else said, and then all of a sudden it's truth, man.
And then they regurgitate it like it's their thought.
Yeah.
I just snapped on one of my former coaching buddies about it. Because like I said, I posted this to after I walked out of the poll, I voted, I walked out, and I sat and I was just watching folks, watching the interaction, how it is. First of all, the tension is so fucking high, it's ridiculous to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I ain't never met nobody else that one of the poll helpers being that fucking aggressive because she's a Republican.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, chick, if I was borderline, if I was on the fence, you just lost me.
Yeah.
You just lost me because I didn't agree with what you said. You gonna get an attitude? You must be one of them. Really?
I didn't heard that term this week and last week.
Yeah, and I'm like, really? I said, okay, so okay, I see, and I hate to say it, the Democratic lady was like, hey, how you doing? Just here's our pamphlet, and went on by her business. The other lady was like, oh, Kamala, this and that, this and that. I said, for real? Yeah. And let's not talk about the military. I said, yes, please, let's not talk about the military. I said, sir, I understand. There's a lot of things that y'all don't know. Oh, you must be one of them.
Wow.
Now, if I cussed your ass out, then I'll be in the wrong.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just shook my head. But my post was, it came like an epiphany. Donald Trump, president, let me give him his respect. Former President Donald Trump is in a win-win situation.
Okay. Elaborate.
Without even, because the reason why I say it's a win-win situation. Here's why. If he wins and the economy turns around, he's gonna say, I did this because I put the country first. If he wins and the economy gets worse, he's gonna blame it on Biden. If he loses and the economy gets worse, he's gonna be like, see, I told y'all should have put me in the office. If he loses and the economy gets better, he's gonna be like, it's because of all the policies that I put in place, all the people that I put in office.
Okay.
So across the board, he's gonna look like a superstar.
Well, there's a certain demographic of people that actually know that it takes 4 years to see tangible change of what a president and
my brother.
Wait, hold on. Just let me finish what I'm saying.
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, there's some people that know that it takes 4 years to see a tangible change of what the president attempted to put into office or didn't do. So the changes the stuff that we're seeing now, people that understand it has nothing to do with Biden. The things that we'll see within the next 4 years, we can see that it will. But the stuff that we're dealing with now, people know that it has to do with the president before Biden for those 4 years, you know. And So in that space, there's some people that might will bite that apple, but then there's people that be like, man, nah, And I think for the people that matters, no better than to believe that yes, he may say that, just like he said a lot of things now when he lost, but and when he was in office, we knew that it wasn't because of him, but because of the president before him, which was Obama. So if you know, you know. But if you don't know, then you may, bite that apple or whatever. You know.
Well, but what I was gonna say
Go
is
yeah, go ahead.
that demographic is a lot smaller than you think. It's a lot smaller
It
than
is.
you think, and that's why I said it's sad and shocking because I'm just like we all like again we all went to the same school. Were you paying attention? Like
Mm-hmm.
so.
Yep. And I agree with that 100%. And on that same token, though, that same thing can be said about Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where you're from.
Yeah.
But the difference is, right now, she's vice president.
Yep.
So she's a little bit more under the magnifying glass. But I get what you're saying. What you think? What you think, T?
Um, hmm. My honest opinion is, I think we fucked either way.
You think?
I do. Um, she ain't showed up during this whole little old presidency with her being vice president. She pretty much sat in the back seat. You really didn't see her out in the forefront until she decided to run.
But ain't that what the vice president's supposed to do?
Yep.
Yeah, but you got to make a little noise. You wasn't even seen, and when you were seen, when she was seen, it was in a it was something wild and negative. Um, the little parties and stuff like that. And hey, maybe that's also was a backstory to it. Maybe that was what it was supposed to be to see her in that light because she's black and a black woman.
Yeah.
Who knows? Um, but I just think with either way, with the stuff that Trump's putting out there, it ain't too appealing to a lot of people. Really, neither one of them are really too appealing to a lot of people. Just with the way that, like her backstory, when you go back to her being a lawyer and the narrative of her arresting, sending a lot of black men to jail, that don't sit right with a lot of black men.
Her doing her job.
Thank
I'm,
you.
I'm just saying, don't come at me.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the black people that it don't sit right.
I'm just saying those are the feelings on some sides. The stuff that Trump has said lately, hey, it's been a little negative.
That shit been negative. That
it's
shit funny.
been,
I mean, it's funny.
some of the stuff that he say he rubbed people wrong.
A lot
So some people look at Trump. Oh well, when Trump was in office, guess what? We got stimulus checks. There's some folks out here that want stimulus checks again.
I don't remember getting any Trump from stimulus. I remember that coming from the president before Trump, which was Obama again. That policy came.
Time out.
Go ahead.
We as we're talking in present situation, that happened when Trump was there, not coming from the previous. People are looking at what happened when that person was in office. So when you hear Trump, they say stimulus. They're not looking at it coming from before. Think about the audience we talking about right now. Think of where we currently talking about. Like you said, there's a small different demographic that know what happens 4 years prior. People are looking at what happened at that point, what they saw, what changes was made, whatever. They're looking at that window when he was in office, not from how it fell down 4 years later.
Yep.
I'm just being honest because that's what I hear. When you hear, and I'm pointing out what I hear. When they're looking at the president from this with Kamala and they looking at this with Trump, they're looking at what happened while he was in office, how they didn't see her president, everything else that she's done. That's what people are looking for. That's what everybody's looking at. We're not looking at what happened at that point. And that's just being totally honest with the situation. So when you look at the two different dynamics of the situation, everybody's like, well, damn, who the fuck is there to vote for? Like, people scratching their head, some thinking, oh, I'm going to vote for the lesser evil.
Yep. It's yep, and it's funny, and that's why I say his team, whoever his team was at that time, was geniuses. Like that's a lot of the shit that they did, like i.e. with the stimulus checks, put his name on there, had his signature on there.
And that's I don't remember like the stimulus thing. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. I
Yeah,
thought that was during
like in the
the
beginning, he put
pandemic.
it. Remember,
It
yeah,
was.
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. The
And
pandemic.
it was
But
when people needed it.
that
So
was
they look how
Biden.
they looking at it. They look
Yeah.
like,
No, it
who?
wasn't.
It was
Okay.
doing it was doing COVID.
No, it was. He's saying it was during Biden. No, it was
Oh no.
before Biden. Because remember, uh, the pandemic happened in 2019, the year before.
Mhm.
The what's her name?
Okay.
Yeah, they shut everything down.
Yeah.
Yep. So what they looking at? They looking like Trump then came in with
Yep,
his cape and saved everybody because a lot of
yep,
people lost their jobs. Some people couldn't work. People got sick. So that's what they're looking at. They're looking at that window when he was bam right there.
yep.
Well, we want some more
Mm.
stimulus checks. Let's go and bring him back.
But I told I 100% agree, and I've had this argument all the time. The stimulus check was not well. That check that you got was not free money, and that's the part. That's the other part that people don't understand. That
Mhm.
was taxable income for one. For two, that was taken. That was basically an advance payment for the income that you get in the future. That's why the taxes went up.
Yeah.
Nobody thought about that, and nobody really understood that part. They just said, "Oh, free money, free government money." No, that's why the taxes. That's why we pay more taxes now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, man.
because we got to pay back all that money from before, and the same thing with the stimulus checks. We got to pay back all that money. This ain't that nothing the government gives you is free. I
Nothing.
hate to say it that,
Yeah.
but nothing the government gives you is free, regardless if you
Healthcare ain't free.
on yeah, regardless if you're on welfare, don't have a job, nothing is free. Just because you're on welfare, don't think you get taxed.
Yeah.
You get taxed. So them refunds, folks. Oh, I'm finna get a 30,000 refund check. Guess
Mm.
how much shit is that taxed? If you didn't get taxed, you probably get a whole fucking 50K. But government say, okay, we gonna give you the money that we invested in you this year, but we're gonna take our cut.
Yeah. I agree, man. And it's and both of y'all are well, all points are valid and I can see, but when I relocated from San Antonio, right, I I, I can honestly say that I was exposed to a whole new world of politics. I mean, a whole new world. Some of it is sad, because when you don't know, and you're kind of cool. But then when you do know, that's why it's important that we have these type of conversations so that other people can start to be aware. And even if we just spark that little mind to just go do their own research and
Yep,
understand how politics really works and understand that a stimulus check is not free money. It's just to stimulate the income, but once that stimulation begins to wear off or they're getting theirs back, just stuff like that. So I appreciate what both of y'all are saying. And I remember when I was in school and when we was learning about certain things that we're talking about right now, the information is so watered down, and
boy.
they only talk about it around this time of year. But what about the other? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know, man.
It just made me what you just said. It hit me because I really wasn't like prior to not even when I was in the military. I really wasn't into politics until I came back from I won't say my from until like 2010. I really wasn't into politics. But then getting exposed to everything through the military,
Yeah,
I started looking like, hold on, these people got my life in their hands. Like they literally can be like, you know what? We gonna start a war and we gonna send your ass over there.
I'm, I'm sorry, man. I'm not laughing at you, Da. I just happened to read that comment and it just caught me off guard, bro. Yeah, there's the comment, and I'm not even
Yeah,
going to read it, but
I almost spit my drink out on my laptop.
yeah, sorry about that, Da.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to the
Yeah,
comment.
I'm with you though, bro.
Well, yeah, so I was just like, man. And then once I got to DC and started to see how it really worked, I was like, oh hell no,
yeah,
I gotta really pay attention.
man. Do y'all know the county that I live in now is one of 3 counties in the state of Texas that still uses paper ballots because it's the more secure way of casting your ballot
Yeah, I'm
because
not
you
surprised.
you actually do your own marking as opposed to the electronic ballots when it's easier to make a mistake on the electronic machine
And
Mm-hmm.
yes, they
and
are.
it's harder to correct it on the electronic machine.
Yes.
And there's 3 counties in the state of Texas. Y'all know how big Texas is?
Yeah,
And the county that I'm in is also one of the counties that's getting accused the most of changing ballots.
yeah. It's almost like a lose-lose situation when
Hmm.
it comes to voting because you got the paper ballot which somebody has to go in, but what about your 80, 90-year-old grandmama who can't write, but she want to vote?
Yeah.
Who gonna go in there with her? Who's to say that's her ballot that actually got filled out?
Yep. Yep. I
Stuff like
agree.
that. And then the flip side, the electronic, they already talking about, and that's what really sparked the conversation, sparked the thought is folks were already talking about they voted early because they was afraid of a cyber attack from China and North Korea and Russia. And I'm
Wow.
sitting there looking at them, I'm like, that's what you're afraid of?
Wow.
Yeah, I say that's the only reason why you voted. Like, what?
Man, bro, if I tell you I didn't heard it all.
I bet you, bro. Like I said, that hour and some change, I was at the polling station, and this is like my second time voting physically. Because most of the time, when I voted, I did absentee ballot in Florida, so I
Okay.
didn't
We just been
have
yeah.
to do all that. But this is my second time. When I tell you this one was probably the most stressful, most insightful, and the most sad time that I voted. I was just like, cause one, like the message I sent in the group, like when I tell you it was Africans and Haitians that was in line, and I'm talking about deep. They got their whole family
Mm.
voting, and I was just like, he done stirred the pot. I have friends that are Haitian, and they were sending out messages like, "Hey, we gonna meet at this time at this date. We going to this poll, and we putting
Bro,
it in."
I can 100% believe that because here where I am, the demographic, I can't say a lot, but
Yeah,
the Hispanic culture and let's say the Middle Eastern culture, bro, I've seen more of them than people that look like me because he done stirred the pot.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
can't say a lot, but just in that space, that's
It's
happening
more than
all over the
you.
country. But you know what's even more that people aren't? It's because they're flying under the radar. People
Mm-hmm.
aren't paying attention to them. If you're not there physically seeing them, then it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. And that's all
Yep,
I can say. But
yep,
that's happening all over the country, bro.
yeah. And that's what made me. I was like, yeah, he done stirred the pot because these people like you not finna talk about us like that.
Hmm. And that's what's making me feel like she's got a chance.
She had a chance from jump because
Mhm.
the way things went down and how this again. Let me backtrack.
Facts.
What I'm about to say is my opinion and my opinion only.
Yeah, agreed.
The way things went down with Biden had to step out and she stepped in, and the way Republicans and everybody is jumping ship.
Mm.
Yeah, they are like, she got a chance.
Country.
Yeah, and they like, okay, let's get behind her because she has a chance. Because if you really think about it, the hell was that?
A truck outside. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Truck, yeah.
I was like, damn, they done hacked into us. Hey, abort, shut this bitch down.
Right.
But nah, but
So,
she got
question
a chance, and the way
before somebody
they got her.
asks.
Okay.
So,
Question. She got a
question
question.
before somebody asks, have y'all voted already?
Didn't I just say
Absolutely.
I was at the board?
I'm
Nah, I
to
just stood
get
out.
clear confirmation, because you know
Nah,
how
I
many
just stood
people,
outside the
you know how
voting
many people,
poll.
you know how many people I've seen go to the line and the line too long and they left.
Shut up.
I'm
Yeah.
not
I've had that
bullcrap.
happen, but
Like,
they also
seriously.
came back.
Yeah, no, seriously. Because where
Mhm.
my job is like across the street from the voting thing, one of the voting locations. And even some of the people I work with, they was like, man, that damn line, it was like a 2 hour wait. I wasn't waiting in no line for no 2 hours. And they
But
left,
you'll
and it
wait
was
2 hours for some fucking Jordans.
and they said they wasn't, and they was like they wasn't gonna go back. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just asking for clarity, because you could have been standing there and been like, yeah, you know, line could have been a little long. So I'm asking for clarification purposes in case somebody asks, sir.
So in my particular locations, yes, we had long lines. I've had people come, leave, and come back. And so yeah, but yes, I have voted. I want to
Yep.
say I voted on the 30th. So I think that was Thursday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday
Wednesday,
or Thursday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Um, I voted. Yep, I did. Have you voted?
Yes, me and my daughter voted yesterday.
All right, absolutely amazing.
What's
And
today?
I've been asking that question, encouraging people, get out and vote. Because not voting for one particular person means a vote for another particular person,
Mm-hmm.
without saying any names.
And it's a thing circulating on, and I had to look this up because I wanted to know for sure. Circulating on TikTok about an old lady was wearing a shirt with the voter's tax on her shirt, and she said back in her day when she voted, they had to pay a tax to vote, and I was like, nah. So I literally went and looked it up, and yeah, you had to pay a tax to vote,
Yes.
and I was
And
just like,
the
yeah,
documents they had to fill out to register to vote
yes,
was like this thick. And think
yes,
about it, back then, a lot of Black people could not read.
yes,
It was to
So
deter
that
people from
already
voting.
trumped them from even being able to vote, because a lot of them couldn't even read the
yep,
document, fill it out, and it was so long. It was big.
So
yeah.
was that particular tax, was it for everyone or just for women?
That's the one I couldn't find out. It just said voters tax. It didn't say like Black people voters tax. But
Well, women, because there was a period when women couldn't vote either, not just Black,
yeah,
even
yeah,
women.
yeah,
So they tried to deter anybody that did not look like them
from
from voting.
voting.
Yeah, man, women, Black, white, or indifferent.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And to make it even to and I tell people this, and they look at me like I'm retarded or something when I say it. People have died. People have gotten lynched for voting. People that look like us have gotten killed in 1920s, 30s,
Mhm.
40s, 50s for
Yep,
voting.
60s.
Yeah. And I don't know. Did I tell my son? Was talking to one of the players because they were talking about I ain't voting for nobody. And I was like, do you understand what people have went through for voting? And he said, yeah, I understand. They used to get dogs and stuff sicked on them and everything. I said, look, you can look it up. There have been accounts of Black people going to vote. Both teams get snatched up as they leave, getting strung up and castrated.
But a lot of people don't realize how recent those events happened.
Well, and
They
that's
don't
what I was gonna get
realize,
at. Yeah,
like, this could have been your grandmother.
yep.
This could have been your grandfather. Like,
Your
this
great
ain't
uncle, something.
so far off
Yeah,
where it does not affect you because it does. Like I mean, and we think about the 1960s. Okay, that was 60 years ago. You know what I mean? I'm almost 50. So come on now. That could have been all right.
I told me and my sister were talking about this the other day because I didn't think she remembered. I witnessed somebody getting a cross burnt in their yard.
In your lifetime.
In my lifetime.
See what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, in my sister's lifetime, and that's what because we were sitting there talking about it. This was when we a time when we lived in, it was like, I want to say we lived there for about a year or so. Because my mom was stationed there in West Virginia. And one of my homeboys, I was at his house and they burnt the cross in his yard because he was dating a white girl.
Wow.
And they burnt the cross in his yard.
And
I didn't think she remembered that. And she 40.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Younger. Yeah. Younger. And here's the thing, a lot of people don't understand, people say your vote is your voice. If you don't vote, then you don't get to complain. And it almost gets watered down, right? But the reality of it is, if you think about what that statement really means, because you are exercising a freedom that a lot of people, that our grandparents may not have had. You're exercising a freedom that people that look like us literally risked their life to do. Like literally, this may happen, but I'm going to go do this. So when my kids and my grandkids come, they're not risking their life. Like that's the impact of what that's saying. But yeah. And
Speaking of the devil, my son just walked in. We were just talking. I told him, he said he going to vote.
Well, Sean, that's your opinion, and I respect your opinion, but we're not here to talk politics. We're just here to talk about expressing your right to go vote.
And that's and on top of that, that's what's so good about this country. Like they can believe that all they want. That's fine. That's their opinion. And just like we can believe something different. So it's not like, now I will say this, it's not like other countries I've been to where if you believe something different, your ass get thrown in jail and all that other stuff. So
and I was in the car the other day and I was having a similar conversation, and so the person I was talking to was saying that they can't believe how some people will get behind him with all the stuff that he said. And I said, well, there's some people that think it's okay to go home and beat up their wife.
Yep.
There's some people that think it's okay. So in that mindset, why is it so hard to believe that they're going to support this man, former President Trump? I mean, people believe what they want to believe. And it's not just a small group of individuals that feel that way. So we got to look at the big picture. Yeah. Hey, Simone, how are you?
Yeah. And again, it's good. I'm glad we can have these conversations. I don't like it when folks, again, get emotionally involved. Because once you start, the facts are going to be the facts, period. If you give me a fact that I didn't know and I research and it's fine and it's true, damn, okay, I learned something.
Gotcha.
But if somebody gives you a fact and you don't believe it, there's no reason to get upset and start getting loud and belligerent. For what? You know what that tells me? That tells me, one, I'm right. Two, I'm right. And three, you're not smart enough to come up with an argument to defend your thoughts.
Gotcha.
Like, if we can't have a conversation like this, like, okay, well, President Trump did this, this, and this. Yes, he did. But also, do you realize blah, 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 blah? Oh, I didn't. Okay, cool. I'm going to still vote for Trump, and you're going to vote for whoever you're going to vote for. Bet. Go on about your business. Not, oh, you're one of them, and oh, you're part of the problem, and that, bruh. Now, if I slap the shit out you, then I'm part of the problem. I was saying.
Okay, that escalated quick, but I wasn't
You
ready.
see what I'm saying though? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just be crazy like that.
yeah. I live in Texas, and I voted for Harris, and all red as Republican leadership has failed Texas over and over. Ted Cruz is better in Texas. Yeah, man. I live in Texas too, bro, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And that's the thing that's fun. That's the thing that's interesting to me. Maya Angelou said, "When people show you who they are, believe them." And time again, folks have shown them who they really are, and they'll still support the guy. And I'm just like, why? That's
Man,
just,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna say that's just like I don't know what it's like. I can't even say. I can't even think of that.
I mean, and I think it's just because people. I'm with you, bro. Yeah, I ain't got nothing either. But that's the sad part about it, though. They'll know this man is dead wrong, or
Yeah,
this woman, or whoever, this person.
it's dead wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. But the flip side of that, I can now I'm thinking about sitting there ready to marinate on it. I can kind of understand because it's like no person is going to be 100% perfect.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
So they're weighing the options of good versus bad, pros versus cons. So to them, the pros outweigh the cons. So I could think of breaking it down like that. It makes sense. I could understand that,
Yeah.
and that's on both sides. That's
Uh-huh.
on both sides.
Yeah, there's a lot that I cannot say because I'm,
Because of what you do. Yeah.
yeah. So I can't say a
Now
lot.
and I love that because now you understand who because usually you always ask me questions and I be want to tell you stuff when I was in the military and I'm like I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah. So
Now you understand.
very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. So comments. Any questions? Any questions I want to ask about this whole experience? Executive, legislative, and judicial. Yes, those are the 3 points that you was making
Yeah,
earlier.
that's it. Because the legislative is where all the bills and stuff come from. The executive is where the president at.
Yep. Yep. And that's why it's called an executive order.
Yeah. Well, the executive and the judicial. The executive make the bills. The judicial make sure it's legal, and the president say, "I agree." That's it, basically.
Yeah.
But
Thank
what
you
you
for that
yes,
information, Simone.
but what you said earlier, a lot of people don't know that, and I'm talking about people that work in the government system. Don't know that it takes 3 to 4 years for you to feel the impact of a bill or anything that was done. And I was just like, y'all don't know that? You were in the fucking system. You complain every day about it takes so long to get a budget approved. Once you get the budget approved, to spend the money, once you spend the money to get the product, but you think the president finna go up there, write something, and then it changed the next day? I'm like, come on, bro.
So Sean just made a comment, a very interesting comment, and that is major, especially now, because there was a woman that just recently died. I don't know if y'all heard about it. She went to the hospital, and they like faintly detected a heartbeat of her baby. She was pregnant, but they were not allowed to do anything because it would have been considered an abortion. Well, the baby wound up dying in her stomach, and she wound up getting an infection and losing her life. So now it's blowing up. So don't be surprised if y'all hear about it soon if y'all have not heard about it. But when I read his comment, Sean's comment, it reminded me of that. And I've heard that as well. A lot of people do get behind him just for that particular reason. But it's the fine print that we have to pay attention to, like this woman losing her life. and stuff like that. But yeah,
And following up with that, there was a lady that was pregnant um, earlier this year, last year, and something was wrong with the baby. And it just wouldn't have been a good thing for her even to have the baby or to continue the pregnancy. And because of those laws, she was actually going to have to give birth to this baby. Well, she went to somewhere where they were willing to do the abortion, and they wanted to file charges on her because she didn't go to court that day, and then file charges on whoever was going to perform the abortion. But this was a life threatening situation. So it made the news here and there and kind of wore off. But in those spaces, keyword is life threatening. It's not only going to lose the baby, it's losing the person as well.
Person, yeah.
So, you know, who are you to police somebody else's body, even in that situation? You know, she was trying to live. She still had other kids. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she don't get it. She
wow.
lose herself. Who's gonna take care of other kids? So it's more to that than
And
what it
that's one of
is.
those things where yeah, and that's one of those things where we say like the fine print, like man,
Yeah.
I don't, and honestly, I don't even like touching like that particular subject because all situations are different. I mean, there's
They
so
are.
many variables. You can't say just because this works for this demographic, it's going to also work because you just can't because it's like these two scenarios that we just mentioned, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's way more than just that.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot. It's a lot. Like I'm well, I'm gonna say this because it's close to home for me. My sister, she's high risk, both of them actually. So what if she get pregnant and does she put in the same situation? It's either her or the baby. See what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's like it's it's crazy.
yeah,
Or
I
even
think
situations where there's a sexual assault.
Yes.
yeah,
You
that
know,
one too.
Mm-hmm.
that's a. So let me ask y'all while we are talking about this before we go to John's questions. Um, as we are talking about this, I watched some of the what's the name last week where Kamala talked. They had
Or those rallies.
yes, Michelle talked and everything like that, and they are pushing that on Kamala's side very hard,
What's that?
and
What do you mean?
saying that. So the point of the abortion situation,
Okay, those laws.
how
Okay,
man, yeah, policing women's bodies, those things, and they were pushing very hard to the point of them saying that the men need to support their wives, sisters, whoever else, the females in their life, and really vote for her and vote against, of course, Trump because of that. But this is a women's health situation. I saw on a couple of different podcasts where a lot of the black guys were very pissed off and felt like she was pointing out the black man, pointing the finger at the black man, saying that they need to support. So some of the guys were offended by her feeling like, I guess you could say she kind of putting her foot on their neck for them to vote for her because even just for that main kind of situation.
yeah,
So she kind of got some backlash from it. And from what we saw from some of the clips and even watch it live, a lot of men were leaving
yeah.
from the event from that because they was rubbed wrong. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all feel like she pushed that too hard and painted a picture about the black men in a bad light? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
You want to go first, or you want me to hop on it?
You go first.
I feel like the harsh reality is, um, in a lot of ways, our society would not mind going backwards because it is a chauvinistic society. There's a lot of men that prefer that their wives be seen and not heard. I am not one of those people, but the reality is we have a lot of those people, and with that comes we can call it, would you say, policing a woman's body until it's directly in their face and directly affecting them, they're not going to be able to grasp a full understanding and the full concept of what that means. And it's because it's not right in their household. It's not directly affecting them. Those are the same type of men, and it does not have anything to do with the race. Black, white, brown, whatever. They don't mind having that control over their woman. Period. And I'll just stop right there before I dig myself into a hole.
Nah, you hitting on it, and I agree too. And I'm gonna add a little more to that too, is because I think a lot of what she said is true. Not true. A lot of what she said is putting the accountability on us as men. We always talking about, oh, we need to respect black women. Now is the time. Like, now is the time. If we're talking about trying to rebuild this community into what it needs to be, now is the time. Regardless if you like it or not, or like what she said, or what she said about it, or how she said it, that's a conversation you have behind closed doors.
Agreed.
But now we need to show solidarity, because soon after that happened, and you look it up, soon after that happened, Nutball said something about it. Black man, you need to vote for me because I shouldn't call him Nutball. I give him respect. Former president said something about it. But again, that's that opportunity to divide.
Opportunities, yeah. And it worked in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Now, as far as the way they did it, they're smart. That's because if you break down demographics, there's more women in this country than it is men.
Yep.
So if you get the women to vote for you, you already a step ahead. And that's what she was doing, talking about that. And that's why I hate to say it. I ain't gonna hate to say it. That's why he is tap dancing on the issue now. Before he was like, nah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Now he tap dancing on it because he see the women are where it's at. The women will come out before the men will.
Yeah. So Sean asked a question.
Oh, was it Sean or John?
John. I'm sorry, John. My apologies. John asked a question.
We got two questions.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, at this point, if it's going down to the wire, then I can see the impact. I can see the impact. We just that's all I got. We just have to see. Like honestly, like man, it's yeah.
When it comes, so the electoral college was set up for the places that are that are for the places, the areas that are stacked. Mm-hmm. So like how we always talking about the red states and all this stuff. That's why the electoral college was set up, so it'll be some type of balance. So you wouldn't have a whole bunch of Republicans move in one area and take over the whole area. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you got to understand 90% of I ain't gonna say 90, majority of the country stay in California and down in the South. So that means places like Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Wisconsin, all them places up there, they would not have a voice. Period. They will not. Any issue they had will get drowned out. That's why they don't have a lot of Congress representation there, because it's not a lot of people there. So that's why the electoral college was set up, so there will be some type of balance. And I get it. I get the popular vote. I honestly think we should get rid of the popular vote, because now all of a sudden it's become a popularity contest.
Yeah, because then you got them states like Texas, where you pretty much know Texas is going to be red, with the exception of Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, for the most part.
Exactly.
Do you? And I don't. Yeah. Go ahead. My apologies.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say we should get rid of the popular vote and actually start doing what we're supposed to do. put people in there that's going to represent what we want versus represent what they want. Because it's easy to put somebody in there. It's easy to do that. But once they get there, you got to hold them accountable. The popularity vote, I could be like, oh, yeah, prime example was when and everybody started clowning my state when they threw out Broward County, they threw out Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County.
Oh, you're talking about Florida, yeah.
Yeah, they threw out Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade County. Them were the three major counties of minorities, and that's how I can't think of what election it was, and that's how the Republican won the state. I want to say it was Bush and Kerry. I think it was Bush and Kerry.
Oh, that first one.
Yeah. And that's how he won. That's how he won Florida. Because of that. And so if you had a popularity vote like that, that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna start canceling out counties. Yeah. Oh, like we already hearing the catchwords, voter fraud. We already hearing it. They're just conditioning us to get ready to take over. Because I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theory, but if you see it on the movies, they're just conditioning us to do it.
Yeah.
I ain't even go that deep. See, I be shocking people when I talk. They be like,
"Nah, man," but it's good information. I'm glad you.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, and you, and even what you said, you still informing somebody that didn't know. So, John, that was really a great question.
Great question.
I don't think we need to remove the electoral college myself, for all the reasons that was stated. So, yeah. His next question is, would that be more democratic instead of letting a few swing states decide the election?
Now, that's a good one, because I don't think there should be a such thing as swing states. I really don't. I honestly don't think it should be a such thing as swing states, because that goes back to what I said about the electoral colleges. You always hear about the big, like Georgia, Pennsylvania, and somewhere else. I forgot the other swing state. You don't hear shit about Wisconsin.
That's what I was just going to say, Wisconsin.
You don't hear shit about Minnesota. You don't hear shit about none of these other places. And I hate to say it, that's what's pissing off a lot of those people up there. That's why they are voting the way they're voting, because nobody talks to them. He started to talk to them. He started to express how they feel. That is the quiet majority that they've been talking about. He started to talk to them. So now all of a sudden, that's why he's not changing his rhetoric, because them people are gonna follow him to this bitch burn down. It's the swing states he have to tap dance and show, and that's why I say I don't think they should have swing state. I think it should just be like, hey, you win this state, okay, you get, just like in school, you answer this question right, that's 2 points. You answer this question right, that's 2 points. That's it. You add them together, whoever got the most points win.
Yeah.
And it's kind of how they do it now, but it gets crazy when you start adding in the popularity. Oh, they won the popular vote, but then when the electoral, or they got to get 200 and such votes, segments of this, and they only got 201. And I'm just like, so what the fuck are you getting these numbers from?
And those are the questions that a lot of people don't ask because they don't know to ask.
Yeah. Because the shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. I just thought about that number. I just thought about that question.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did these numbers come from?
And why isn't it public information?
Yeah. That's a whole nother show.
That's
a whole nother show. Because I was watching something and something had happened. I was like, that's not how it went.
So I'm just gonna plug this in real quick. There is some information that is public information, and it's usually vote followed by whatever county you live in .gov. So if you live in Bear County, votebear.gov, vote Dallas County, whatever county you live in, vote that county.gov, and there's a lot of information on there. So if you
Yes.
need information about precincts, about the number of voters, um, things of that sort, sample ballots. There's even also in a lot of counties, there's live streams where the cameras literally film a lot of the elections administration buildings.
Mm.
So a lot of the information is public, not all of it, and not some of the vital information, but a lot of the questions you can answer yourself by vote, whatever county you live in, .gov.
Mm. And yeah, and do that because you spend more time. And I'm just and you can they can hate me if they want to. I don't care. You spend more time on TikTok,
Thanks,
Instagram
TK.
looking at bullshit. Take take 15, 20 minutes to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I hate to say that's a whole nother conversation, but just learn something about voting, and then
Hmm.
you won't. I don't think people will be as afraid to
To actually get out and vote.
yeah.
Yeah, because you'll know. And I didn't mean to finish your sentence. I'm sorry, but
No,
go
but
ahead.
you know I was going with it.
Yeah.
And you can always check online too if some people are not sure if they're registered to vote. You can
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
there is the website, of course, with
Same
whatever.
website.
Yep, pretty much. And click on there and put your date of birth and your numeric number, usually for your residence, and you'll be able to see if you're registered to vote, and they will tell you where you can go to vote.
Yep, and
And, and
that's why I
and
voted
with
late.
that being said, there's a lot of times when you go to renew your driver's license, they ask you that question, but there's like a 6 month delay in that process, as
Wow.
opposed
Mm,
to you mailing in your own voter's registration. It's too late this election, but there's
Yeah.
going to be plenty more elections, and not just the government elections, the mayors,
I'm
the
glad you said that because I was about to say that. I was
government,
about to say,
the state governors and stuff like that. There's plenty of other ones. So this conversation does not stop here. And if you have
right,
not registered to vote, get registered for next time. You know, yeah.
right.
Get your
I'm glad
own
you said that.
voter registration card. Send it in yourself. Drop it off. There's been a lot of I've heard a lot that of people say they registered when they renewed their driver's license or such. Mm-mm, nope. If there's a delay, a lot of information may not get mailed in. Do it yourself. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. If it wasn't so important to vote, they wouldn't make it this hard.
Mm-hmm.
If it was something easy, you see, and I hate to keep saying this, you see how easy it is to get government assistance.
Yep.
But they make it hard as hell to vote.
They make it hard as hell for government assistance too. Shit.
Uh,
Well, it's easier. Yeah, I get what you're saying, DA.
yeah.
And I know why you laughing, TK. 34
Shit.
pounds. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
he's talking about
Yeah,
this fella.
yeah. Talking about
I
you.
think
But
he shouldn't even be running in the first damn place. He a whole ass criminal.
but see, here's the thing. Here is where I like. This where I smile. I smile because now you can see everybody's seeing how they can manipulate the system to affect them, but affect who they. I'm not gonna say them who they want to impact because it is in the it is in the Constitution or something where you can't have no issues like that, especially when it comes to classified documents.
Yeah.
But what I'm noticing is they keep pushing the trials back to after the election. which means if he's reelected, he can be what's the word? Oh shit. Basically, they can drop the charges.
Yeah, you mean like exonerated?
Yeah, he can get exonerated.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a game. So all the criminals should be like sitting back watching this, because then if that's the case, they have an argument now. They have an argument for their rights. They have an argument for holding a public trust office. They have a legit argument.
They have an argument about voting rights.
Exactly. They have a legit argument. Hey, this guy is a convicted felon and he's running the country. I got caught with some weed and you trying to tell me I can't vote? No.
Yep.
And if enough of them get together and start suing these counties and holding these counties accountable, that shit's gonna change.
I'm with you on that one, man. Any other questions? What y'all got? Okay. I guess my real issue is the fact that with the current setup, somebody could win the presidential election with only 25% of the vote. So I use a system that would neglect.
Neglect 75% of the country.
Yeah. I mean,
and I hate to say that's politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's politics. And I will also say that's partly our fault as far as the people, because we don't hold the people we elect accountable for what we need them to do. We let them get in, big business come in, slide them a couple of checks, and then they start hemming and hawing.
And that's the reason why it's so important to vote for it depends on where you live. Mm-hmm. I'm in Texas, right? But, some states might call them aldermen, and the mayors and stuff, but your commissioners and your, those local people, because those are the people that sign off on that type of stuff. It's not the president making decisions in your city. It's not. So you got to know who to contact, who to blame, who to reach out to. So.
Sean said it's a pardon. He can pardon himself.
Yeah, that's what the word I can think of. Yeah.
That's shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this was good. This was a great conversation. Yeah. Do y'all have any other questions that we may can attempt to answer or share some light on? What you got, TK?
No, I'm gonna just say, hey, vote. If you decide to vote, hey, just do your best. Just hey, like Nike, just do it. If you don't, hell, shit, I get it and I understand, because the options look a little slim. But I did vote on yesterday with my daughter, who is, of course, of age. But I will say I agree with the machines, because I know a couple of times I was making selections, and when I was voting for who I was voting for, I clicked that person, and it jumped. It was the other person lit up. I said, bitch. So it got crafty, and my daughter is the one that caught it too. She got a pencil and was tapping the thing with the damn pencil, because every time we kept clicking on it, it was going to somebody else that we didn't select.
Yep.
So
and that means them shits are old.
Yeah, you definitely have to be cautious. Another thing I would say, I get it. A lot of people don't do early voting, but the few polling sites that I've seen in my area, they damn near look like ghost towns when I go by them.
Wow.
I've heard that too.
Okay, where I live,
we got in and out. It wasn't even 10 minutes. We were in and out.
Mm-hmm. We've had the complete
There was
opposite up
no
here.
line. The majority of the machines was great and available. There was two people in there when we walked in, and a guy came in after, and this was his first time voting because he, of course, asked for the guy for help. He's like, "Yeah, I've never done this before. I do, But it literally was a ghost town. Like the parking lot was just empty every time I rode by.
We've experienced the complete opposite up here. At least 50% of people registered to vote have come out to vote so far. And I'm just going to tell you this: when you do go vote, and I'm saying when, on election day, which is Tuesday, November the 5th, keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to people. There's a lot of people trying to detour people from voting. There's a lot of people we actually had to get the police involved.
Wow.
We actually found, I'm choosing my words wisely, we actually found some artillery inside of our polling site. So it could have been left there, and it was major. It could have been left there to scare people away. It could have been an accident. It could have been dropped. But for whatever the case is, keep your head on the swivel. Be mindful. Watch your surroundings. Get
And
in
I've
and
been
out.
hearing that too.
Not engage in those people that are trying to draw you into those negative conversations. Period. Don't engage in it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too. Like,
get home to your families. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I've been hearing that too. Like, they've been I know in certain states they activated the National Guard and the reserve. Well, the National Guard. I know in DC they were supposed to activate the National Guard. I don't know about in Virginia where I'm at, but yeah, I've heard that too.
So we plan on having visible armed guards at each station, and some people around that may not be as visible.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you got, and it's sad. It's sad, but we should be used to this.
it's sad to say that you have to get used to it, but man,
we
still
should be used to this because again, when we couldn't vote, that's the same tactics they did.
Scare tactics.
Yeah, and that's all it is. So we should be like, oh fuck that. Oh, he doing that, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
So
earlier, been quiet as well. Gotcha, Sean. Yeah.
It's the other demographics that's not used to this.
Yep. There's people that are showing up.
Yeah, my fault. I had to go. I thought the people were coming for me because my dog took off to the barking at the front door.
Oh, you good. Yeah. But yeah,
the people were coming for me.
Lord. But yeah. So like I said, it's been interesting to see even just different side of towns, what the polling sites look like from the crowd. But definitely be careful when you vote. Make sure that you are selecting the person, and that is what's there and lit up and checked. Because it's the way it is. And then, like, I know for here, the vast majority on the ballot only had one person for you to vote for anyway.
So it's uncontested. Wow. Okay, and
I'm serious. That was about I say actually I think that was about 75% of the ballot. Only had one option.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation right there. We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah.
When you understand that.
So, and John said felons can vote in Nebraska now. I know there are some states that are giving that option.
They can, but I think they can't be like on paper.
Yeah.
So they can't have like an open case.
Yeah.
I think that's the little the catch. Like when I say an open case, like be on probation or parole, or like have a court date set. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It has to be closed.
Yep. See, that's what I'm talking about, John. John said when I went to go vote, it was a 2 hour wait. So instead of going home, I looked up where the nearest other voting site was. Took 10 minutes. Please look around before going home. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because
Definitely.
by my job, it was wrapped around the building. When I came on to the other side of town, ghost town.
Mm, yeah.
Took less than 10 minutes. And on a Friday, in and out.
That's the last day of early voting up here in Texas, so which
Hmm.
is yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I appreciate y'all for tuning in and all the
Right,
feedback. Any other questions before we log off?
right.
Questions, comments. If you have not subscribed, please like, share, subscribe. We used to come on Fridays, but we decided to hop on this lovely Saturday. Yesterday we was all busy and had a lot going on, but we are here. At least we wanted to show y'all our face this week. So
And
every
this,
Friday, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's and this is an important subject. That's why we
Mhm.
decided because we could just blew it off and be like, yeah, everybody knows, but nah, it's important to us. So we
Agreed.
want to get the message out. Like, hey, go out and vote. Go out and vote. Make a
Agreed.
difference. If you don't do shit else in your life, make a difference.
Yeah, please, please, please go exercise your right, man. It's your right. It's your privilege. You
Yep.
should be honored. You should be honored to go vote.
You got a right to drink. You exercise that shit. Exercise the right to vote.
Agreed. Yeah. So yeah, um, we're usually here on Fridays at 8 p.m., 8 till about 9:30 ish. That's when we usually come on. So subscribe. Check us out. We talk about all sorts of topics, man, from this types of stuff to certain mental issues. Sometimes we just get on here and we just laugh it up. So sometimes it's light, sometimes it may be heavy. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we argue. But just check us out. Am I telling the truth or am I telling the truth?
Hey, we educate on
Hmm.
here. We talk about healing. We're very transparent with the
Yep.
shit that go on in our life. Because woo, these last 2 weeks been on.
They
We'll
have
talk
been.
about
You
that
ain't
on the next. Woo,
you
baby,
ain't right when you're wrong. You
life
ain't
was
wrong
life
when you're right.
on a
Yeah.
different level lately. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, we are all about having those conversations that many people don't like to have, especially in a lot of our cultures. So we do put them out there, and we are transparent about ourselves in those areas and spaces. And like you said, yeah, sometimes we laughing to death, and sometimes we crying,
Right, right.
but
And the
all
thing that and the thing that neither one of my co-hosts will say that we need as a people, we need to do more and do better of. One is we listen to each other, and two, we agree to disagree.
Agree.
We don't have to go to blows. We don't have to call each other out our names. We don't have to go to gun violence. We agree to disagree. That's your point. I got my point, and
Yeah,
we move on.
yeah,
I can agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Um, vote your convictions, man. If you're convicted about it, then that's how you vote. My convictions are mine, yours are yours, and not just voting in everyday life. Like my brother Da was saying, agree to disagree. It don't mean that you have to get mad, start cursing, fighting. Not dealing with people because they're convicted about something that you're not, or vice versa. That's good. Good words, Da. I like that. Thank you, bro.
definitely appreciate
Mhm.
that, sir.
I don't have anything else to add. I'm done.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I feel all right.
Yeah,
I will
get out
add
and vote.
Um, John, thank you for being on tonight. I've never seen you on here before, but thank you. Your questions and feedback was really awesome. Made us even think out the box. So
Yeah.
we greatly appreciate you for being on tonight. We hope this ain't the only time we'll see you in the comments. So if you haven't, please subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. We thank everybody that was on tonight. My big head
Facts.
bro jumped on here tonight. Um, I hadn't even been on my secondary podcast in a couple of weeks because I didn't have too much shit going on. But yes, but I thank him for always supporting me anyway. Um, always Hope. You know, Hope is one of them. Hope and Simone been here since like day one.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
love, ladies.
almost 4 years in the
Yep.
Uh,
Simone, thank you for coming through.
definitely.
Yeah.
Greatly
Simone,
appreciate
she the human encyclopedia.
ain't she the
she be on
she the
it.
go boy? She
Yeah.
got that info. Yeah.
Yes, Simone be on it. So we greatly appreciate y'all. Definitely be safe, especially on Tuesday, because you know people are geared to try to act
Oh,
a plum fool. Go ahead.
Friday, y'all, come back. We're working on something special for Friday. I think y'all gonna dig it. Come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. That's it. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, and if you haven't, go watch our last episode, because that episode, man, we
The
got
one
a
on
lot
intimacy.
of love and feedback from that episode, saying that y'all enjoyed that. I'm so glad.
Shout out to Dr. Holly
Yes, shout out to Dr. Holly.
and
'Cause that was,
Larnica.
yes,
Definitely.
always Larnica. Y'all keep Larnica in y'all's prayers. She'll be back in December.
A
But
residential therapist.
yes, we love our therapist. She is awesome. So definitely keep her in prayer. But like I said, if y'all haven't watched that, because I didn't have to implement some of that from that last episode.
I knew it too.
I was like, ew, but nah, but great. Like I said, hey, we all about making ourselves better, and in that one, those that are around us to be better as well, and just let it spread out. Iron sharpens iron. So, on that note, be safe. See y'all on Friday at regular time. And on that note, we are out. Much love.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.